is in this little thing? Look at the size of that screen. Has it overheated?
Nope.
Has it done? No.
Nope.
They just told me the price. Is that bullshit?
I think the year was 2014. I was down in St. George. I was at Dixie State College visiting my friend Ben, and he was editing a project that he had just done. You know, we're having a conversation about making videos and stuff, and the topic of, well, what cameras are they using to shoot these big Hollywood movies came up. And that's when I first learned about Red, an American brand with a very unlikely beginning. Started by two even more unlikely people. The first, Jim Gennard, the guy that started Oakley. Yes, the sunglass company. And Jared Land, a guy that was running a blog about Panasonic's DVX 100 camera. They were just a couple of outsiders with this disruptive punk rock attitude that wanted to change the industry.
It was the same way with the Red One. We had no idea how to make a camera. I made a decision and then we figured it out.
If you looked at their cameras had designs and names that totally matched who they were as people. They definitely weren't suits in a boardroom, and I was instantly hooked. But because of the price of Red cameras, which were astronomical, they were always just a pipe dream. But about 5-ish years ago, as you may know, Red released the original Komodo, which dramatically lowered the barrier of entry. Something that was once just a pipe dream was now within the realm of reality. And for me personally, when I bought the Komodo, it changed the trajectory of my life forever. I shot everything I possibly could with that camera, whether it was overkill or not. I took it hiking through Yosemite. I shot a mini documentary in Hawaii. I mean, I use it to film my kid opening presents on Christmas Day. The more I shot with that camera, the more of a fan I became. And over the last 5 years, nearly every single video that I have made for both of my channels has been filmed on a Red camera. That's hundreds of videos. And since then, I now own a Red Komodo X, which I'm filming on now. And I now own my then dream camera, the Red Weapon Monstro, that one back there. A few years ago, as I had just started a 4,000-mile road trip, I got an email from Jared Land, yep, that guy, asking me if I wanted to borrow a camera.
Jared Land? No way.
And long story short, we ended up meeting. But more importantly, I left that very surreal meetup with a new friend and a newfound respect for Red that I had already had, getting to hear from the man himself how Red came to be. I know you just want me to shut up with the backstory and just get to the montage of the awesome new camera footage, but it's important for me to give you this backstory so you know just how gutted I was when I heard that Red had out of the blue sold to Nikon. The company I loved and relied on for my career and for this channel had now just been sold to the big bad megacorp. And I thought my time with Red had ended. Oh, thankfully that did not happen. And instead of a company dying like so many of us thought, we are instead getting two amazing companies sharing the best that they have to collaborate and bring to us some new and exciting products. And the Nikon Z R is the first of this collaboration.
What I have in my hands here has been a rumor for a while, and I've heard about it. And this day is just, let's just unwrap. Oh, holy shit. Look at the size of that screen. Are you kidding me? Dude, that is all that is in this little thing? I don't even know where to begin with this right now. This makes me so freaking happy.
First of all, I am not a spec guy. I'm not going to prioritize specs over everything else. Instead, the way the camera makes me feel and the experience I get shooting it is kind of priority number one for me. But I think it's important that I share with you real quick some of the most notable things that the Nikon Z R offers. The first of which is probably 3 types of internal RAW. That is crazy.
In red code RAW, what else does it have? Does it have in RAW or ProRes RAW?
Also, yep, both, yes.
This camera is wild. It
is crazy. It is a fun camera.
We're now getting red code RAW in the Nikon Z R.
It's got a modified red code RAW built into it, and it's coming to DaVinci and Final Cut Pro soon. It's a 12-bit, not a 16-bit.
Now there is a plus to this, and that is file size. The file sizes are going to be much smaller than the full fat version we're used to.
So a slightly smaller version is pretty nice.
Yeah.
And you don't have like any crop factors on anything.
Yeah.
So 6K 60 full frame.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Probably the biggest addition to this camera is the obvious huge ass screen that they put on the back of it.
The biggest thing for me, the biggest takeaway is this giant screen. Like,
Yeah,
I hate
look at the
looking
size of that.
camera, and this is just
So
like,
cool.
You don't need a monitor.
This is the biggest, brightest, and best screen you've ever seen on a camera this size. And when you're done using it, you will look at every other camera you have and the screens they come with and go, yeah, this is trash.
Well, I understand that it's 1,000 nits. My small HD has 1,000 nits, but like it's hard to see sometimes. Oh, wow. Well, we're in the shade right now. Okay, come here. Let's see. Oh no, I can confirm.
Yeah.
That is really good. That is a very good screen, Jeff.
Thank you.
On camera.
When Jeff first handed me the camera, it came wrapped in a black cloth. I hadn't even seen it, but I just weighed it in my hand and I was like, oh my gosh, this feels amazing. I can't wait to use it because it feels like you've made this thing bomb-proof. It was a little tank. We filmed on the best day ever to test a camera's performance. Let me explain.
I'm getting heat exhaustion right now. I am incredibly dehydrated. It's probably 98 degrees.
But on the sand, it was probably closer to 120.
No heat warnings as of yet. I know that's a big contentious thing right now, but it's handling it like a champ. They're filming 6K 60 in the red code RAW. So they're maxing out the camera too.
Great environment to test a camera's like performance under duress. That being said, we never got a single heat warning.
I haven't had it for that long, but we have put it through its paces, and I am very impressed.
When you say you've put it through its paces, what does that mean? Has it
off-roading with it?
overheated?
Nope.
Has it done? No.
Nope.
Now the dirt was also an issue. Johnny bought his FX6 and basically every time we did a take, he had to get his rocket blower and blow it out. Johnny and Kyle had their Porsche 944 Safaris and we were just doing tons of burnouts. We were kicking up as much dust and dirt as we possibly could. There were times where when it would come rolling in, it looked like an apocalyptic like sandstorm. And we were doing everything possible to put it in that environment. I think a great way to test a camera's durability is look at the rep's face when you're about to do something crazy. And if they cringe and they're like, oh my God, I don't want to break the camera, that would be a bad sign. However, Jeff was all for it. Jeff was the Nikon rep that came and actually helped us film. He was awesome. He was having so much fun and he was like, yeah, put it in there. He had all the confidence in the world. And by the time we got done, that camera instills a lot of confidence in you because it will just handle anything.
Very fun thing about this Nikon Z R, it has 32-bit float recording, which very few cameras have that built in. So right now we're using the DJI Mic 3, which has 32-bit float recording, but it's just going into the mic input, which has 32-bit float recording. Allegedly, they're also working on a hot shoe mount, kind of like Sony's little hot shoe mount that will have 32-bit float recording, no need for cables. And then they're also apparently working on a XLR handle, top handle type thing, similar to the FX3s. Now, whenever we're Now, whenever we're reviewing tech, I think we have to review it in the sense that it is as is right now. These are pre-production models, but we have to kind of give our opinions on things as they are now. Even someone like Apple, they said, oh yeah, we're gonna totally have AI soon. A year later, still no AI. So, are we gonna have all these things from Nikon? Yeah, maybe, probably, but at the time of making this video, we don't have those things, so we gotta keep those into account. But 32-bit float recording in camera, pretty sweet.
One thing about the size and the ergonomics of the camera though, it doesn't really have a grip. It's not a Sigma BF, but it has just a little bit of a rubberized indentation for your hand to grasp. And you can, and if you had really small light lenses, I don't think it would be an issue. But once you start running heavier lenses, over time, it's gonna get very front heavy. The IBIS was very jerky initially. We were doing a roller, we were tracking Kyle as he's going, the camera's just bouncing around. And it had that electronic IBIS overtake that you get sometimes where it overcorrects and it jerks it the other way. So I told Jeff, what's going on? Jeff knows everything there is to know. So he goes through the settings, dials in some things, and then it became very floaty, almost gimbal-like. It's not quite Panasonic level, but it's close in some cases, depending on the settings you use, obviously. I was very impressed with it. Finally, the price. This was a giant shocking moment for me.
Did they mention price at all? Have they given you a price yet?
Yeah. $2,100. $2,100. $2,100.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's $2,100.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I'm gonna ask him.
Yep.
Hey!
He's having too much fun.
They just told me the price. Is that bullshit?
$2,199.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Are you crazy?
Yeah. Thirsty.
Now there are some things that the Nikon Z R doesn't have that might just rub people the wrong way. The first is micro HDMI. I know people will probably get mad at that, but I understand why they did it, because they really are saying, hey, you don't need an additional monitor with the screen we gave you. And I never once felt like I needed a second monitor to view the image. Number two is the Nikon Z R has a single card slot. It is found within the battery well. So where you stick the battery, that's where the card slot is. So I guess the first part of that is like, one, it's kind of in a weird location, so it's hard to get to. It might be a little tedious to get to at times, depending on how you have it rigged. The second thing, which is probably the bigger thing for most of you, is that it's only got one card slot. Now, as a Red owner and shooter over the last 5 years, all of my Reds have only had one card slot. So for me, this didn't rub me the wrong way. I kind of looked at it as like a normal thing that Red cameras have. I don't know if Nikon plans on expanding this Z R line, this collaboration between Nikon and Red. Right now we have Nikon cameras, the Z line, the Z6 III, the Z6, the Z7, Z8, Z9, etc., etc. And then we have Red digital cinema cameras. It's its own thing. That's the big high-end cinema cameras. The Z R is kind of an amalgamation of the two. However, for me, I felt like this was a 95% Nikon camera and a 5% Red camera. Really, the only thing you're getting Red-wise is the codec. And for me, that's not enough. I would like it to be closer to like 70-30. And it's not that I need Red specs in the camera. What I would like to see are more of the tools that make Red so easy and fun to use. The first one being the Red Control app. My God, that app in and of itself just makes the Komodo, the KX, and the Raptor, the new DSM-C3 line, so much more usable, so much more solo operator friendly. There are so many things you can do with that app, and I'm praying that if the ZR has internal Wi-Fi, I'm not sure that it does, but I bet it does. If it has internal Wi-Fi, they really need to make this app work for the ZR. It just opens up so many possibilities for the person using the camera and just being a solo operator and creator. Number 2, Red offers awesome exposure tools. They have an RGB histogram. Then they have their stoplights / goalposts. You'll never find an easier way of getting exposure. They also offer false color. And then they offer another thing called geoscope, which allows you to dial in perfectly contrast ratios. All of those tools make getting exposure effortless. There's nothing worse than shooting and having to reshoot because you screwed up exposure. Future Brandon here. I'm editing the video. It's going live tonight. That's how last second I've gotten some information. I've been talking to Nikon all day long about trying to get as many updates for you as possible to give you the most accurate information. Even then, there are probably going to be some things that are left out because I don't know them entirely. If you've been watching this video, you might have noticed all the vlog stuff was done on the Z6 Mark III. And so much of that footage was both very difficult to color and almost all of it was poorly exposed. And this is what I mean by Nikon needs better exposure tools. Right now, all they have is a histogram and it is not very good. It is kind of in the way, it is kind of small. They don't have a waveform. They don't have false color. They absolutely need these things. And where Red just knocks it out of the park is with the stoplights and the goalposts. That's the thing in the bottom left corner that raises and lowers depending on how much of the RGB channel you're filling up, whether that's the highlights or the shadows. But they also have false color and they also have geoscope. Nikon absolutely needs this. I've never botched so many clips in the last 5 years of shooting. Like so many clips, I could not tell if they were underexposed or overexposed. And as you can see, so much of it was blown out. And it made grading the footage very difficult. This is something that I talk about at length with Kyle Meshna in a video, a follow-up video to this video that I'm putting out, I believe, the day after this one goes live. So definitely watch it. It's a very unfiltered talk about what we think the ZR could be, its potential, and what it is right now because of some of the things that it lacks. I hope you enjoy that video. We shot it out in Yosemite. It was a lot of fun. But for me, I don't know where this concept came along, but it seems like tools like false color somehow got lumped in with this concept of cinema camera, which I don't understand why a tool, a support system like false color for just getting good exposure is something that is kind of like saved for the really high-end things. And I definitely don't think it should be. To me, tools, support, making sure that your customer gets perfect exposure every time so they're not redoing clips and so that their experience is really good, needs to be like it's a non-negotiable. It just ships with the camera. And if you think about the monitor that it's got on this, I don't even call it a screen, I call it a monitor. It's so good. It absolutely should come with all of those support systems that we need to get the image right, because it has micro HDMI, which is honestly a liability. Those things break all the time. I'm not going to even use it. So it's even more imperative that the monitor on the back of the ZR comes with better exposure tools. And finally, an update on dynamic range. So way after I got done shooting this video, my experience with the ZR was very limited to about 5 hours. A couple of weeks after, I was talking to Jeff from Nikon about updates to any of the tools or any things we might see in the camera. I was told that instead of the 14 stops of dynamic range that this currently has, they were able to eke another stop. So the Nikon ZR has 15 stops of dynamic range, which is rad. I would love the ZR to have an additional focus assist tool. Right now it has focus peaking and it's great, it worked great. But sometimes, depending on the conditions, like we were in a very bright, low contrast condition, it's very difficult to see that focus peaking, even if it is really good. So for me, I want the Edge focus peaking tool. It's something I use and rely on all the time. I've talked about it in my KX for wildlife video. You can kind of see what happens there, but essentially it kind of becomes an X-ray. Instead of relying on whatever color you assign to focus peaking over a color output, it turns it black and white. And even when it's low contrast, it's so much easier to see exactly what is in detail and what is in focus, and I rely on it all of the time. Finally, there are a couple of non-red specific things that I would love to see Nikon implement. The first one being is anamorphic support. Probably my most used lens this year is the Blazar 33mm or 50mm Remus. I've used them on damn near every single project I've done this year. Right now, I'm filming on the Blazar Kato, which is a 2x anamorphic. At the time of filming, there was no anamorphic support. And when I asked Jeff about this, he did say Nikon loves a firmware update. So I'm hopeful and optimistic that it will come. But more and more people are shooting on anamorphics and going to camera systems specifically for their anamorphic support. It is one of the best things about the Lumix S1 line and Lumix in general is just how much anamorphic support they give you. The Nikon Z R has two major things going for it, in my opinion. The first being, it's just so damn fun to use. I left that night going, man, I can't wait to get this camera. I'm definitely getting one. And I wish I had it now. With all these cool adventures that I've got coming up, I really wish I could take it with me. It's made me rethink image quality and size of camera and what you can do with a small camera. Like this is a big deal for me. When you're holding a camera that's that small, but it's built like a tank, it's got the best codec. It's just confidence inspiring, and that monitor is just so good. You want to shoot everything with it. It's so fun. And number two, it's the first one. It's just the start. Like the possibilities when you start thinking of what they could do with past red sensors, Nikon technology, and you're like, man, if this is just the first one, the ones that are going to come after this are going to be incredible. So I really hope Nikon continues to flesh out this line of cameras, if this is a line. I really believe that if Nikon can dial in some of these tools and make it closer to red without actually being a red, because obviously they're going to want to keep that line separate, but if you can take some of those really good red tools that make shooting easier and more fun and add it to this camera, I believe Nikon has an FX3-like camera on their hands. Like what the FX3 did for Sony, the Nikon Z R could do for Nikon. If you liked this video, if you thought it was insightful or entertaining at all, please do me a huge favor and hit the like button and consider subscribing. It is free. It says subscribe, but there's literally no cost to it. It's not like a Disney Plus subscription. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.